Hello everyone, welcome to the White Cliffs at Dover. Dover is on the south coast in a county called Kent, and despite how wonderful it looks, if we had smell-o-vision at the moment, all you'd be able to smell is diesel fumes, because Dover also happens to be one of our major container ports, and it stinks. The wind's coming straight from there and all I can smell is diesel fumes. So this way looks far nicer, I think you'll agree. So over there on the hill is Dover Castle. Beneath that is the town of Dover. And then we have the harbour, the port, with all the lorries going in and out. Anyhow, I've left Trinny chained up in a car park about 20 minutes away because I couldn't bring her down here. So we're going to make our way back to Trinny and I'll see you back there. All right. Oh, wrong gear. So, after a bit of a disastrous start, I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Here we are on Trinny, riding through a little place called St Margaret le Cliff on the Route 1. Headed for Deal. The van just decided to pull across in front of me. So yeah, disastrous start was I forgot to press the record button on my ride, so I haven't got the first 3 or 4 miles on there. I also went to the White Cliffs, as you've just seen. Got there and then found out that the land there belongs to the National Trust. And because of that, you can't fly any drones over the White Cliffs. I was hoping to get some pretty good shots of the cliffs and me on top of them. And obviously there was nowhere I could get Trinny anywhere near it either. So, as you saw, I walked to the edge of the cliffs, took a couple of shots, got back to Trinny, and then here we are. Hopefully the sound is okay on this recording. I'm using a new camera, new microphone. We'll see how it goes. All right. And if the sound is pretty awful, apologies for that. I'll put subtitles if I need to. I have a wind muff on this little mic on my chest. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's enough looking at me. Let's show you where we're going. Weather's good. I hope it holds. Morning. Yeah, really haven't had a chance to test out the microphone yet and this on this camera, so I have no idea what the wind noise is going to be like and whether my voice is going to be loud enough in the microphone. Hopefully it is, otherwise this is going to be a long ride with very little from me to say. So the plan at the moment is, for today, I'm riding north across Kent towards a place called Whitstable on the north coast of Kent. So I've started on the south coast of the UK. At Dover, we're going to ride up around the coast a bit and then cut across country to Canterbury. Nearly forgot the name of it for a moment. And then from Canterbury we just go a little bit further north to a place called Whitstable, where I've got a hotel booked for the night. Then tomorrow, well, tomorrow's another day. I'll tell you all about that tomorrow. Tell you what, it's all downhill at the moment. I hope it carries on like this. There's a horrible hill coming out of Dover. That was another part of the disaster. There's a real big climb going up to Dover Castle, up to the cliffs. It wasn't very nice. Lots of traffic, busy roads, couldn't get the camera out. Nah, done that now. Let's enjoy the rest of the day. Oh, this hill is wonderful. I just wish I could let go of the brakes. But I don't know what's down the bottom, so I have to keep a hold. So anyone who's watched my channel for a little while knows that the Route 1 is the same national cycle route that goes past my home up in the Lee Valley, and I ride along the Route 1 most of the time. And this is the same Route 1. It starts in Dover, and over the next 3 days that's where I'm going to be headed. Of course, the Route 1 continues past my home, carries on up to, well, all the way up to Scotland and the Shetland Islands beyond. Still going downhill. Kind of scary, because I think there might be a big uphill coming as well, but we will see, we will see. I've barely turned the pedals since I started recording. It's amazing. So I've just finished that long downhill run. It must have been at least 2 or 3 miles long, I think. And what do we find at the bottom of it? Apart from some cars, we find the sea. This is pretty much where the English Channel meets the North Sea. Right there, just on that bend. No, I'm joking. And I'm now going to cycle along the coast for about the next 10-15 miles, I think. Which is always nice, because you know it's going to be fairly flat. Some pretty little places around here. The Wellington Parade. Oh, I thought I was going to be on a gravel way for a moment. Well, I almost am, because there's lots of people walking, but we'll go around them. Hiya. All the houses with the nice sea view. So that water actually looks quite blue with the blue sky reflecting into it. Looks rather nice, doesn't it? I wonder if it looks like that on a cold December day with the wind blowing. I doubt it. But it's nice for me today. I've just ridden into this little seafront town, and I'm thinking it's probably Deal. Again, correction on the screen if I'm wrong. I haven't actually got a map open at the moment for me to see, so could be. It's a lovely cycleway along here. And as I said earlier, lovely weather for it too. So I nearly rode straight past this. I just managed to catch out of the corner of my eye as I was going past the crowd. Deal Castle. It's one of the better preserved Tudor castles in the UK today. It was built in 1539 by order of King Henry VIII. It's open to the public. You can go in there. There's all sorts of museum pieces and bits to see. But I'm not, because I've got other places to go. So I certainly can't pedal at full speed along here. I've lost the cycle path. It's now just a shared path, so we have to go steady. And as the name says, share it with everybody else. So I've just pulled over outside Deal to have a snack. I've got some little flapjack biscuits. And a lovely bit of moorland here. I don't actually know what it's called, but lovely flat downland. And the reason why I thought I'd just switch the camera on is because just since I've been sitting and having a snack, two cyclists, I mean there's lots of cyclists along here, but two cyclists have stopped and asked if I'm okay. It's not something that happens around London. It's really nice. Just they see another cyclist stop by the side of the road. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. But it's nice to be asked all the same. And behind me there is a golf course. And this is called Golf Road. At least I think it's called Golf Road. God, it's so quiet. So this is a pretty little town called Sandwich. Sandwich is very busy. It's obviously a popular location for people to come in the middle of August. Lots of traffic, lots of people. But it is pretty. It's got a nice river running through it. Lots of old buildings. Some pretty flowers. Well, I keep seeing signs for the number 1, but yeah, apparently we've got to go round this way. I'm using Komoot, the app called Komoot, to get around these roads, but the app is a little bit slow when you come to tight little turns and places like this when you've got lots of junctions. The app just doesn't keep up with where I actually am. It's about 5 seconds too late sometimes, which can be a little bit annoying. Wow, these are tight and twisty little streets, aren't they? Mind you, it means I can duck and dive in and out of the traffic and get through places where other cars can't. Rather impressive old mill house. So that was Sandwich. So the Kent countryside is all very nice and green, isn't it? Very pretty. Can't believe this weather after all the rain we've had. So much rain. And I chose these days to come out cycling probably 2-3 weeks ago. Obviously no idea what the weather was going to be, and it just kept raining and raining and raining, and I thought, oh, it's not going to happen. But there we go, look at that sky. Wonderful. Long may it stay that way. If anything, I think this afternoon it's going to be a little bit too warm. So when I post the relive at the end of this one, you might notice a few little backtracking wiggles on my route. I just did another one. As I said earlier, commute's a little bit slow, and occasionally you get to you get past a junction and then you go, oops, I thought it was the next one. So you have to go back. It's never very long. I mean, we're talking about, I don't know, less than 100 meters, I suppose, before you realise you've gone wrong. But a little bit frustrating. Oh, look at that pretty place. Oh, it's a barn. Wow, it's a lot of effort to put into a barn, isn't it? Thatched barn. Most of those have been converted into houses in the southeast of the UK these days. There we go. Not that one. There are some lovely houses around here, though. Perfect commuter belt if you've got a bit of money for London. You can have a posh house out in the countryside, in the Kent countryside, and commute into London each day. Unfortunately, much of the Route 1 at this point in Kent just seems to be on these single lane little roads that we've got, which is, I mean, they're nice enough to cycle on, but it's a pain for trying to get the camera out and doing anything, because as luck would have it, you just get the camera out and usually there's a car or a lorry comes along and then we have problems, and Now it's easy enough, it's just that you have to realise whilst I'm doing this, I'm riding with one hand. So I have to be careful when I come to bends like this that I don't meet a car halfway round the bend. You have to have your wits about you, is what I'm trying to say. So yes, there's not a lot of camera work whilst I'm on these little roads. Pretty though it is. Lovely and green, and birds chirruping away. Lovely. I'm really enjoying it anyhow. Apples and pears. There's apple trees there going as far as I can see, all the way up that aisle. And just behind this hedge on this side, I've just come past a gateway, but there was pear trees exactly the same all the way up the other side. There we go. There we go, there's the pear trees. And there's the apples. So it's a little while later. I had a little bit of lunch, had a little fly of the drone, rested the legs a little bit. Now it's time to move off. Just under halfway for the day. And it's all going swimmingly at the moment. Really enjoying it. So I just got a little way away from lunch, where I had lunch, and then thought, where's my gloves? Oh, no, it's alright, they were in my pannier. Terrible for misplacing things, you know I am. Oh, look at this lovely little cottage. Oh, that's very pretty, isn't it? That is very pretty indeed. Wow, we like that a lot. So the sun's still shining, we're still pedalling. So what about Kent then? I realise I haven't told you anything about Kent yet, have I? I'm out of practice with these county rides. I'd better be quick because there's a horse coming up and horses don't like the trike. So Kent is in the far southeastern corner of the UK. To the west we've got Surrey and East Sussex. To the north there's a sort of water border across the Thames with Essex, and then it's also got a border with Greater London. Oh, it's alright, the horses went down that way, that's good. So today I'm kind of riding from the south coast of Kent to the north coast of Kent, and then tomorrow we'll ride from east to west towards Greater London, and then all being well on the third day we'll ride through London, parts of which you've already seen before on some of my videos, but I make no apology for that. It's part of the Route 1, so I've got to do it. And yeah, we should arrive back home in 3 days' time. And I'll tell you a little bit more about Kent tomorrow. Well, I've got to save something for tomorrow, haven't I? Otherwise I'll have nothing to say. These pretty little villages. No idea what they're called. No idea what any of them are called. What's this one? Well, the sign says Preston. There we go. A thatched cottage in Preston. A concern on the day like this for me is making sure I get enough liquids. I've got a cooling breeze on my face the whole time, obviously because I'm creating my own sort of draft that's blowing me in the face as I cycle along. And that cooling breeze sort of belies the truth that I'm sweating buckets. And I notice that when I stop at junctions and what have you. This sudden heat wave from my body is quite something. And yeah, I don't think I'm drinking enough, so note to self, drink more. I mean, it's not incredibly warm today. I think it's about 21, 22 degrees C. Yeah, it's warm enough to make me sweat. Couple of little maintenance jobs to do on the trike this evening. The right brake is just slightly binding. I'm getting that little chuff 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 noise as I'm going along. And the opposite end of that scale, my rear brake isn't tight enough. I've not got a lot of rear brake. I've got enough, but I prefer it to be a bit tighter. So it's a couple of little jobs I can do later. So, a few miles more. I've just been through some woodland, on the road still, but it was nice to get out of the sun for a few minutes, a bit of shade. As you can see, the road's a little bit wider. It just means the traffic's a little bit faster, unfortunately. But most people are fairly sensible. Nothing I can't deal with. Right, we're going to do a right turn here. You alright? Oh, a nice big downhill. Keep the hat down, otherwise I'm going to lose it. Whee! For the speed freaks amongst you, that was 44, 45 kilometers an hour. Oh, now where is this? This looks nice. Well, it did look nice till we got stuck in traffic. I'll bring you back when we're moving. Pretty little bridge that we're waiting to get over. No, we're not actually. So, I'm glad I didn't have to go over that bridge. Let's just go down here and show you on the camera. Oh. Goodness me, isn't that pretty? I bet there's some fish in there. Yeah, I can see lots of little fish. That's gorgeous. And I'm now going to spend some time riding along this river all the way into Canterbury. I hope the path is not too bad. Hello. So it's nice to be off the road now for a little bit, and yeah, the path's not too bad. I have to swap hands with this selfie stick to avoid it from hitting things as I'm going along, but I just thought I'd try it out. It's a bit of fun. Gives a different aspect to where we're going and to where we've been. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to put it away. Wow. Back in a minute. So the long selfie stick is really for using with the 360-degree lens, which I'll show you at some point how that works. Unfortunately today I'm not going to use the 360 lens. It's by choice, because I'm trying to keep this episode at least as 4K. I now have a 4K drone and I'm using a 4K camera, but the 360-degree lens on the Insta360 doesn't lend itself to uploading in 4K, so we can't use that, unfortunately. Oh, the day's quite warm now, I think. It's nice to be out of the sun. The river is there somewhere off to my right, but I'll be blowed if I can see it through the trees. Shame, on the map it looks like this is a route alongside the river, but I haven't seen it yet since we left the bridge. There's a nice lake through there. And plenty of mud. Now, which way do we need to go? Up or down? Up or down? Let's have a look. So here we are in Canterbury then. I went down, if anybody's interested. The paths were up or down, and it went down, and it got worse. It wasn't very nice. Lots of bushes in my face. But here we are. We're in Canterbury now. I don't know a lot about Canterbury. It's a fairly large city in Kent. It's not the county city. That's Maidstone. So I just realised that the microphone wasn't switched on when I was recording the last few bits. Duh. And I've also noticed that the microphone battery is really low, so I don't know whether it'll last the day. It's a learning experience for tomorrow. I'll keep the microphone batteries on charge when I'm not using them. But if the sound goes really rough over the next few clips before we get to Whitstable, you'll know why. It's because the microphone's gone and I'm having to use the internal mic on the camera, which we already know isn't very good. Unlike this path is marvellous. Really enjoying this. Thank you. This is the Route 1 between Canterbury and Whitstable, and it's a joy, it really is. It's well made, it's flat. There's just nobody about. It's really good. Right, I don't know what this sounds like with all the traffic noise. Hopefully it's kind of got rid of it, but yeah, I got into Whitstable a little bit faster than I was expecting. All of a sudden there I was. So now I'm just trying to find my way along the Whitstable bypass to get to my Premier Inn hotel where I'm staying. So far there's been this nice cycle path along the side of it. Shared use as always. But better than nothing. I'd rather that than be messing with the traffic. But yeah, so we're just going to go along here, find the hotel, and then I'll get back with you. So it's a little bit later now. I've just eaten, come back to the hotel room. Trini's in the room with me, which is all well and good, at least I know she's safe. So that's the end of Kent day 1. We'll be up in the morning off to Gravesend, but that's a whole other day. I'll show you all that tomorrow. A couple of points to note for today. When I used the drone the first time this morning, it interrupted the recording of my ride. So not only did I start recording it late, it ended early, so I don't think there'll be a relive on the end of this one. That's a bit unfortunate, but yeah, the recording finished before we even got to Canterbury, so it's only about half the ride. Anything else? Don't think so. Other than the fact that it was a lovely day. Really did enjoy it. The Route 1 from Dover to Whitstable, superb. Yeah, the roads this morning, I could do without those, to be honest. It'd be nice if it was all just off on trails all the time, but we can't have everything we want, I suppose. But other than that, the Route 1's really good. I would do it again, recommend it to anyone. Hopefully tomorrow will be just the same. Looking forward to it. Anyhow, that's about it from me for today. If there is a relive worthy of showing you, it will come up straight after this. If not, I'll see you in the morning. Cheers then, guys. Ta-da.